Oh shoot, did it start?
What are we live?
Oh my god, I hope not.
I love it.
We're live. um,
The literal best.
God damn it.
No, this is fun.
I mean, we can sort of just go. Everyone ready?
I mean,
I hate starting them off like this. This is oh man, this is.
Nope, let's do it.
Oh, let's do it live. Fuck it.
yes, sir.
Let's get it, y'all. What's good, everybody? Hold on, let me make sure that everything's recording because you know how.
Oh yeah, we are live. I see it.
Yeah, show enough. Start recording. Make sure all my backups are set. And damn, we really in here. Let's get it. I'm not even gonna yell in y'all's ears. I'm not even gonna do it. I'm not even gonna do it this time.
Nice.
Ron's
They're thanking you.
Ron's like, yes, fucking finally.
Finally. never let them know your next move, man.
Exactly.
Never let them know.
Keep them guessing. We gotta keep them guessing. Yo, what's good, everybody? It's your boy Chris, aka SSJ Blackrock, aka Mr. Muckluck, aka the Great One. That's still gonna say. I'm always gonna do that. That's always gonna happen. And this is Shit I Play That Your Gaming podcast. Not weekly podcast, but sometimes podcast. But hey, this is 2 weeks in a row. Whoa.
We starting it back up.
Hey, what's going on here? What's up with this consistency?
I don't know.
We love it. We love it.
It's a good week for gaming. Let's do it, man.
It is. I feel like gaming is finally starting to like news is starting to pile up and everything like that.
Signs of life. We needed this.
Yeah. But what's good, y'all? James, Rod, how y'all doing?
I'm doing well, man. No complaints over here.
Yeah. Man, it was a Memorial Day weekend, like last weekend. So had an extra day off, at least I did, and it was good. You know, saw some good movies, watched some shows, hang out with family. It was a good time all around.
Good stuff. So what kind of food? Hold on, let me stop the music. what kind of food we talking about here?
Well, this is the real question.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we had some brats, some sausage, some burgers, beef, turkey burgers. You know, in case you can't eat meat or beef. We had some potato salad, classic. My mother is from the South, so you know it's that good potato salad, not that creamy shit.
Let them know.
Yes, oh, of course, and beans. Gotta have some beans with the potato salad as well. So it was a classic, I think, Memorial Day meal, I would say.
Good stuff. What about you,
Pretty
James?
solid. Oh man, I was working Memorial Day, so wasn't any type of super special cooking going on. I was out at the hotel, so you know how that goes. But I did have some ribs. Came across a slab of ribs, that was nice. Baked potatoes, that was on the list too. That was pretty much it. You know, nothing too crazy. Just needed a little sauce.
Can't go wrong with the classics, man. That
Right.
sounds fantastic.
Oh, some homemade coleslaw too. Gotta make the coleslaw.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I think we did the same. I think we did just generic. We had burgers, chicken, beans. So I think someone made like pork and beef ribs. And so everyone was grabbing to-go plates, and someone went and saw me go into like the kitchen closet and pull out one of those extra, you know those like those aluminum foil like tub things that you sort of like you could like bake your like turkeys and shit in.
Yes.
So I went and grabbed one of those, and that was my to-go plate.
Bro, you serious?
Uh huh.
That's what you bring the food in.
That's how I take it out.
That's insane, bro. All right. That's how Chris getting down.
When my cousins saw me doing that, they're like, you know what? I ain't even mad at that.
But was there any left after you were done?
Oh
That's a
yeah,
real
yeah.
question.
I'm not that person to like grab everything, but I grabbed a good enough bit where like that was like dinner for like about 3 days.
Okay. Solid leftovers.
Yeah, actually 2 days. 2 days. Yeah, it didn't last. It was
I got
good
the
stuff.
boat.
I was gonna say, did any of y'all get any gaming done over the weekend? Oof.
A little bit. Yeah. Because I think that might have been when I finished Horizon. It was either then or like right before that weekend. I didn't play like a ton of games, but when I did, it was to finish that, which I'm sure we're gonna get into shortly. But before we do get into that, though, just real quick, I want to talk about something for a second. I want to mention Top Gun Maverick. If you have not seen Top Gun Maverick yet, you should run, not walk, to your nearest Dolby theater and go watch this movie. It's quite good.
Is it? Is it?
Yes.
I've been hearing a lot of hype.
Yes.
But
It's quite good.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so what if you're that person who has never seen Top Gun?
It's okay. You can go in completely blind. Anything that you need to know from the original, they recap. So I actually watched the first for the very first time. I had never seen Top Gun before. So somehow, I mean, it was before my time. It was like, I think mid 80s.
Very first time. I'd
And
never seen Top Gun
and so,
before.
for some reason it just like passed me in the culture. Like it just completely went over me, and I just have never gone to take the opportunity to see it. And it was on Netflix. I think it actually just left as of May 31st, so I don't think you can watch it on Netflix anymore.
Of course.
Yeah, it might be elsewhere. I just haven't looked, but yeah, I watched it and it was okay. It was fine. It was kind of fun. Extremely 80s, probably the most 80s thing I've ever seen in my life. And so now I understand where all the parodies come from now with Top Gun, because it makes sense. It's also extremely homoerotic. So if you are into that as well, Top Gun Maverick does not have any of that. A lot of people would probably say for worse, because that was extremely entertaining to see Tom Cruise and Val Kilmer basically have what I discern to be romantic tension throughout most of that movie. But it's kind of fun though. At the time, the first Top Gun was revolutionary for like the aerial footage that it shot. They hadn't really shot jets like that, or really many planes in that manner before. Top Gun Maverick kind of takes this to the next level. Have you all ever been to a Dolby Cinema before?
I haven't.
Oh, I haven't.
Okay, so they're exclusively inside of AMC's, and what they do is that they have what's called Dolby Atmos, and you guys have probably heard of that, right? Like Dolby Atmos, it's like the sound, yeah. So they have each theater comes equipped with Dolby Atmos and I want to say it's 8K. I'm not 100% sure, but it's using I think their Dolby Vision technology, so it is crystal clear.
You know what? Now you mentioned, I think I have seen that before. I think I watched Batman that way.
Okay. Did you enjoy it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's extremely immersive. Like, really, if there's deep bass or anything like that, it usually rumbles the entire theater. So just imagine a movie like Top Gun Maverick, where you're dealing with these jet engines just basically fucking you up for 2 hours. It's wonderful. And it is practical. A lot of it was practically done. If you didn't know, Tom Cruise is actually a pilot in real life.
At this point, yeah, sure.
Yeah, right. Yeah, what does that man not do? But yeah, I just wanted to shout that out because it surprised me of I expected it to be decent because I'd heard good buzz beforehand, but it blew me away with how good it was. I actually was, contemplating going again to see it.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's just a great summer blockbuster. If you got it's a good dad movie. I feel like your dad is probably gonna like it.
So it's like a Father's Day recommendation.
Yes, 110%. I'm not saying that women will not enjoy this movie. There are plenty of things. That's not what I'm saying at all. But but back then in the 80s, that was the stereotypical dude flick. That's, and I think this is absolutely you go sit down with your dad. Go take him to it. I think it's I've been contemplating taking mine to it. So it's a good time. It's a good time. So yeah, that's Top Gun Maverick.
I feel like that movie was teased for a minute. I thought it came out already at some point, but then started seeing the trailers again for it. So I was so it's finally out now and it's great. So I guess I can see it. It's I haven't been to the movies in a minute, but at the same time, I heard that a case of monkeypox hit Atlanta. So
Oh
Yeah.
Lord, are you serious?
Yep. Today actually.
yeah,
Can't have nothing. Man.
we in here again. Let's get it, y'all.
See you in a couple years. We gone.
Yo, when are we gonna be able to finally do a should I play that live?
I mean, I was down for it,
Yeah.
but now if they got
Yeah.
monkeys running around up there, no, thank you. I'm good. I will stay.
Yeah, so I don't know. No, it's one place that you can't like get fucked up by world viruses. And that's
Where's that?
That's video games, y'all. So let's talk about what we've been playing. James, what you been playing, man?
So speaking of catching things, I spent the last week catching feelings,
Oh, okay.
emotions, if you will. I took Roddy's recommendation. I've played Life is Strange: True Colors. Finished it. What?
Oh.
2 days ago at this point.
Hmm.
I gotta say, man, you might be onto something. you might have got robbed from last year's Game of the Year.
Oh,
I know we mentioned it, but I think you might have been there.
Yeah, we mentioned it. I think I was the one to eventually kill it. I think Chris was actually the one offering the olive branch at that point. He was like, it could make it, but nah. So James, this is your first Life is Strange?
Second.
Oh, second, because you played the first one.
Yes, I played the first one. I haven't
Okay.
played the spin-offs or the second.
Okay, and you had liked this one.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think it was comfort food.
Mm.
That's what it felt like for me. It was like a video game comfort food. I was ready to come home after work, sit down for like a couple hours, and just like work my way through the story. So like if you guys have listened to this before, you know Life is Strange at this point. Basically kind of like a visual novel, semi-open world, decision-based game, that sort of thing. But yeah, I was unsure how they were gonna handle the use of emotions as a power, but it was able to give like this interesting way of visualizing perspective that I wouldn't have expected before in a game. That was really cool. And so like, I don't want to spoil. So let's just say the first time she really like interacts with that power, it's to understand someone's fear. And so to finally like, and then when you like to see the world the way that they see it, and then it's not just like the way you expect it. It was just a really cool way to like, okay, yeah, I understand. This would be tough for anybody to deal with if this is what you were seeing, no matter what it actually is in real life. So it allows you to really empathize with the characters, and I think that's cool in this kind of environment.
I completely agree with you. Like that was not something I was expecting when like I wasn't expecting them to handle it so well. I was very wary when they announced this thing. I was like, wow, they're really getting away from the superhero stuff, which in theory was cool, but I was just like, how are you going to handle empathy as a power? Like what are you truly going to do with that? So yeah, I agree with you totally there.
no, I was gonna say like it shows that if you sort of like put yourself in someone's perspective, like it'll literally like shift your reality. Because sometimes like two different people can like look at something and see two completely different things. It's just like their point of view.
Yeah.
And this game does like you said, it does a great job of having you see that through people's like different emotions. So like if someone's like really angry, like you could like the character sort of like draws from that anger and sort of emulates that, which like I don't know if I could like she's like the essentially she's like the ultimate empath. Like she can feel how people are feeling and sort of like use that to sort of like gauge how she's gonna interact with people. I think
Yeah, it was definitely different. I would want to see more of it, honestly. I'm just curious whatever situation she could get into and like resolve using that power.
How long did it take you to finish it?
Maybe like 10 hours or so. Yeah, like a couple hours per chapter, seems like.
Yeah, that's right. I was about 3 hours per chapter, and I believe there's 5, so it took me almost 15 hours. But I only played like one chapter a day though, so I kind of spread it out, and that's usually how I play these games. Chris, did you ever go back and play more of this in between the last time we recorded?
I listen. I'm back in the swing of like production mode for a bunch of like different things. So
Okay.
last time we did an episode, literally felt like yesterday.
Yeah.
I was doing the same thing.
I only ask because James, if you could, without like revealing anything, I just would love to hear your reaction about chapter 3.
Oh, chapter 3 is it's almost like that tonal shift, I suppose, that you weren't expecting in the game. That nice way of coming up for air and changing up the formula. I loved it. It just kind of it twists the genre. I don't want to spoil too much more besides that, but just like twisting the genre into something fun and really paying off all this hype that's been built up the first 2 chapters. Well executed. I liked it a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, totally with you on that. Like it blew me away. I couldn't believe like how far and how much they committed to the bit. Like I just couldn't believe it. And it really does play exactly what you say. Like it's a complete shift from what you've been doing before, but completely makes sense within the context of the story at that moment.
Right.
And God knows you need it because those last 2 chapters can get kind of heavy. So
Bro, what? Oh yes.
yeah, yeah. So it's a nice breather, calm before the storm, basically. No pun intended. So
Life is Strange is really good about that too.
yes.
I've noticed it lulls you into that sense of security, and it's like, haha, no, Wanda's here.
Yeah,
Damn.
I did not think about that, but that is a very good comparison. Like wow, yeah, they really do, and they do that off the bat in Life is Strange 2, to the point where it's like, what the hell is happening right now?
Oh, did it really?
Yeah, I would say it's probably the most jarring out of all of them. The thing I think. Oh, go ahead.
I wonder if it's on Game Pass. I might check that out.
I think at some point it was, where they gave them away for games with gold or something.
I'm pretty sure you could sort of look through your you either have you probably have it free somewhere. I think they've given it out for free.
I'm sure
Yeah.
I do somewhere.
On different platforms, maybe
I-
PC. Epic's been
Yeah,
at,
I think you can. I think you could play chapter 1 completely for free, and I think you could totally play that one and see if you would like it or not. If it emotionally destroys you, which it probably would at the end, you could go at your own discretion from there. But the thing I think about True Colors, and I think we talked about this last week too, the strongest part to me was just the character of Alex. Like, she was, to me, the strongest protagonist that this series has ever had. Some people might say, oh my God, Chloe. And Chloe's great, but I mean, Alex to me is like the most full version of any of these characters. She's not a blank slate, even though the game kind of, it lets you sort of play her how you want, almost in like that Horizon Forbidden West style that we sort of talked about. But I think they take it a step further because they define Alex so well in this game. And I really got a sense of like who she was throughout my journey in this game.
So question, if I'm playing Alex to be like a certain way, will certain characters interact with her differently?
So I kind of. I don't think, maybe not in the way you would expect, but yes.
Okay, because I mean that's sort of how I wanted. I don't know. I felt like that's what the game was somewhat like doing a little bit. But like I said last week, I'm still in chapter 2. So I don't know. We'll see. I gotta get more time to play games, and I'm going to start streaming like just regular gameplay stuff on this channel, either here or back on the Twitch page. But yeah, I think I gotta trick myself into playing video games. and
Just turn it into work. You'll do it.
Well, and so that was great about doing this stuff is that for me it doesn't feel like work because I love it so much. I love I don't know, like being able to just talk about this stuff with you guys, putting it out there on the internet, having just conversations with people. Like the amount of times I've been able to talk about a video game, based on what we talked about on the episode and so on, in like real life, being like, hey, yo, I actually listened to like that episode, and your hot take was completely wrong. This is exactly this is the way you should look at these type of things. I'm like, hey, listen, say it in the comments. Just keep keep it in the comments.
Keep it in the comments.
Yeah.
Don't bring it to me in the
Don't
streets.
bring it to me in the streets.
Okay. That's fair.
But yeah, I'm excited to jump back into this game.
I really think you should, man.
Yeah, and this is and like you said earlier, this is definitely that type of game that if you want to sort of kick back and relax, this is that type of game. Like there's like they're I'm not gonna say stressful moments, but like there are moments that are gonna keep you engaged, but then they're like it's sort of like the hills and valleys and everything like that. So
Yeah, with some of the decisions on there, it was like, oh, like I didn't expect this really be thinking about it this hard. But
yeah, and those didn't hit me. I'll be honest, James. Like some of those decisions didn't hit me until I think the middle of the game. Because the first couple chapters, I was like, okay, all the decisions that they're asking up to this point have been very, to me, pretty cut and dry. And I wanted to play a certain way, and they were totally letting me do that. And it wasn't until I was talking to the little kid's mom. There was a decision in there. Yeah, that was the first one where I was like, ooh.
let me pause real quick.
yeah. I was like, I need to actually think about this for a second. Like before, I was just kind of and that was very irregular. Like usually, Life is Strange games are good at getting me to like really be conflicted about decisions, and I just didn't get that until that moment. And then from there are a few other decisions later on that are also equally troubling. So
Now I want to make sure, are we talking about front or back of the shop?
the back.
Okay.
Yeah, the front was easy. I was like, yeah, okay, front, okay. Although I did pause for a half a second on
I
the
did
front.
too. Because even now I'm
yeah.
still kind of like, I don't know, maybe I made the wrong decision.
Yeah. I still moved with conviction. I chose it, and I was like, all right, we're good. But then when we went to the back, though, it was a different story. I was like, oh shit, hold on.
Okay.
Yeah. But I'm really glad that you enjoyed it, James.
I'm too. I'm glad I decided to go for it. Shout out to
sure.
Game Pass.
I was about to say, and how did you play this game? And were you able to access and play this game?
Only in the best value for gaming, Xbox Game Pass for PC. Yeah.
Nice.
Thank you. Check is in the mail. Check is in the mail. All right. But moving on, that's really all I've been playing. I jumped back into Mass Effect after I finished. Not too much progress over there. Actually, you know what? No. I've finished up some of the DLC in Mass Effect 1. Pinnacle Station. Wrecked all of those times. Get at me. And, yeah. I'm like moving through the story after this. So hopefully I'll be done with 1 and on to 2 by the next show.
Sweet. Yeah, you're moving. You're trucking along.
Yeah, I don't try and staying out in 1 too long. Like, it's fun to get the thing established, but there are better games out.
Oh yeah. You get to play 2 now. 2 is fucking awesome.
Speaking of 2, Roddy, what you been playing?
What a nice transition. So I finished Horizon Forbidden West. We talked quite a bit about this last week, but I just wanted to kind of finalize my thoughts on this, kind of put a stamp on it. And I largely feel similarly to how, we talked about it last time. Like my core issues do not change really. But I did get to see the conclusion of the story after about, I think I put 70 hours in this total. Yeah, it's a lot. But that was also with me doing a lot of the side stuff too. So if you were to just blitz through the main mission, I think it would probably put you at about 15 hours or so. It's not very long if you just go through that main narrative. But I was just occupied with doing all the side quests and then some of the side activities like the melee pits and stuff like that. So the cauldrons and the tall necks. So, and I tried to explore a little bit, but man, nothing scratches that itch like Elden Ring, man. I swear. Like every time I play an open world game for the rest of this year, like that's probably all I'm going to think about is, damn, why don't I want to explore this like I wanted to explore Elden Ring?
So like that's a good point, because there's a game that we're going to talk about later that I feel like certain open world games like Elden Ring, like it's elevated that open world like just gameplay. So like I think Breath of the Wild was like that big game for, well, I think Skyrim was that big game for like the longest. You could sort of, I guess, argue that like maybe one of the last couple of Assassin's Creeds have been pretty, like I think Origins that people really liked? That was like
Yeah.
up there for a lot of people. So I think that's like another like up their game. But I don't know. There's something about like an open world where like if it's not fun going from like place to place, or like that gameplay loop doesn't sort of like hook me in immediately, I don't know. Like I can't really get into it, because I think this is Horizon. Like for me, is the only game I sort of like touched in the last week, and I don't know. I'm almost ready to sort of shelve it.
How much more did you play?
Just a little bit, but it's sort of like I did like a couple of side missions that you get in that, I guess, that first city where like they open up like the merchants and everything like that.
Chain scrape?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I'm doing
Okay.
some of some of those side quests, and I don't know, it's not hooking me in.
You didn't do Death's Door yet, though, right?
No, not yet.
Do
Do
Death's
Death's
Door.
Door.
Yeah, yeah. Just I would
You
say
gotta get up the first area.
Yeah. So follow James's advice. I would say go ahead and just drop anything you're doing right now and just mainline story until you get to Death's Door.
I was about to put the headphones down and just just walk.
Oh no. Yeah, no. Yeah. Once you get to that, then decide whether or not you. I would say it's fair to drop the game after you get to that mission, explore a little bit, because the game will. It has like 2 or 3 different openings. It's really weird. Like it's there's a lot of like starts and stops with it.
It's the
Go ahead,
same
James.
problem the first game had. Just the intro was just like, I don't know. It just loses you.
You know what spoiled me as like just a gamer in general is that if a game doesn't open up in like a spectacle or in a way that sort of like hooks me in, and like I specifically think of like Sonic Adventure 2. Or like he's like, listen, hear me out. Hear me out. Listen, hear me out.
I'm upset because I was
Hear me out.
thinking you were going this way. Go ahead, continue.
Yes. So I need a game to like pull me in and like sort of give me like a taste of like what's to come, and have like a bomb ass soundtrack. But besides that, like I need it to like sort of like get me in the mood to like actually like play the game. I think this game has a problem
He's
of
dying.
doing a lot of like story and then letting you fight a couple dinosaurs and then throwing like another like hour of like cutscenes at you.
No, you're right. I think it's too start and stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rod's like, this motherfucker's talking about Sonic Adventure 2 one more time on this fucking
But there's
show.
a reason. It's just like literally out of the millions of games you could have used that comparison for. It's just funny that it's Sonic Adventure 2. You're not wrong. You're not exactly wrong.
Sonic
but
Adventure 2, that was a banger of an opener. Like that, like that's how you start your games.
Sonic
Yeah,
Adventure 1 even.
Yeah.
That killer whale run.
Killer Whale.
Is that the first thing you do in that game? I thought you fight Chaos is the first thing you do in that game. Where he's like,
that's
now it's rad or something. Like he's on the building like Batman or something. And he's like, you guys remember that?
Yeah.
You remember this more
Yeah.
than I do.
I know, Jesus Christ. Yeah, no, I feel you, Chris. I do feel you. This game does not start like that, and it has like 3 of those kind of starts. I would say after the Death's Door mission, it was when the game actually begins. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, James, on this, but I think you have to do maybe one more main mission before like you get a hub, like an actual hub.
Yeah, you're right. When I
what?
first started playing the game, I watched like before you buy or like before you play games or whatever. General consensus was like do like the first 13 story missions and then start to explore, because by then the game's opened up the way you need to. So I don't know which one you're on now, Chris, but try to get to 13 and then start.
I guess.
See if you feel any better about it.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like I'm not even saying like this is a bad game, and that's kind of what's frustrating about it is that there are good elements in it and things that I actually really like and enjoy, but it's muddled in a bunch of crap to me. It seems like it's muddled in a bunch of stuff. Like they're almost like working against their own fun. And players, I think, want to have their fun a little quicker than like the first, I don't want to tell somebody, hey, it gets great after 10, 15 hours. Like,
So So here's the question then.
Hmm.
Do you think Horizon would work better as like an Uncharted style game?
100%. I said that in the first game. I was like, this did not need to be open world, really. Like that's not where, at least in my opinion, like I didn't have fun with the game in that way. I
Right.
had fun following Aloy and her buddies and like that whole story. Like that's where I had my fun. And the combat was cool. Like I had fun enough with that. So yeah, that's where it was good for me. I 110% am behind that. Like if they wanted to just go straight up to action adventure, even like a quasi God of War style thing where
Right.
God of War is like, I it's like quasi open world. It's not like a Ubisoft type thing. It's like it's very guided in that sense. You know what I mean? I would even take something like that. You know?
I think I prefer that too. Honestly, I'm surprised more games haven't aped that style of game instead of trying to do like the huge open worlds all the time.
See, but that's the problem is that now that Elden Ring has like blown up the way it has, and everyone at this point seems to be making their either Elden Ring / Breath of the Wild type clone. We're just gonna see more of these games. We're gonna see more of these open world games. I don't know. I don't know.
Speaking of which,
I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah. I do agree with you, Chris. I think people are going to take the wrong lessons from Elden Ring and not actually understand why it was so successful. So they'll just be like, "Oh, okay, they just want an ethereal like style open world where like we're not going to tell you anything deliberately and like okay, go have fun and not really comprehend the minute details of that gameplay system and why people were so compelled to explore it."
You want to know what game I think is about to do that?
What?
Sonic Frontiers.
Sonic Frontier. Hey!
Oh boy, let's go ahead and let's jump into this. Let's talk. Well, actually, no. Before we do that, Rod, did you have any like what were your like closing thoughts on Horizon?
Oh, Horizon. I feel like I said a lot of them to you actually. Like, definitely try it. It's a gorgeous game. Gorgeous game. Somebody asked me to rate it. I really don't know if I want to do that publicly right now, just because like maybe ask me during Game of the Year. Like, maybe I will have a. It's not like super high though, but it's not low. Like this is an above average game in my opinion.
Is this your 2022 Ratchet and Clank?
I had more fun with Ratchet and Clank, I think.
Yes.
Like ultimately, I think I had more fun with that game. And again, Ratchet and Clank is not a game I disliked, right? Like I liked that game quite a bit. I think their problems are two different things. In fact, I actually like the style of Ratchet's gameplay, and that's actually close to what James was suggesting. Like if Horizon was more of a, it doesn't have to be straight up a corridor shooter, but like, put some ability in the player's hands to like maybe hop levels, that sort of thing, make it more of a focused, guided, linear experience. I would be okay with that. Too often, I think players conflate linearity with poor quality. I don't think that's the case, really. That's not the case at all. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I would agree. Like some of the best stuff is linear. All the Marvel movies that everybody loves, they're linear adventures. For everyone's favorite book is linear. Like it's okay to move in a specific direction. That's how you get a clear vision.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're all Uncharted fans. Like, we like the franchise, and those are straight up like the developers are going to take you on a journey. The Last of Us, same deal. That sort of thing. There's plenty of these character action games that are successful. So I think my final word on Horizon 2 is a disappointing sequel. It could have been better in some of these regards, but there are still some things worth checking out in it. It's certainly worth a shot. I think if you've got a PS5 at the moment, it's not like we're drowning in games right now. So like if you have the time and the money to spend on it, like try it out. I think you'll like it. Maybe. You'll at least get 10 to 15 hours in before you decide to throw in the towel, I think. Or you could put in 70 like me because you had to isolate for half a week. And it's pretty good for a mind waster or a time waster if you need that. So, yeah, that's where I think I'm at right now.
Okay. I mean, that's fair enough. All right. So I'm going to give the game another shot. I'm going to consciously like try to play some this week. And I'll try and get to this death's door level. And this level better be fucking banger, okay? Like this better be what hooks
Story
me in.
wise, yes.
Yeah, story wise, yeah. That's when the story actually like begins. To be honest, and the game does as well. The game will open up a bit to you. Yeah, I think it will fit that bill. I mean, let's keep your expectations in check. I don't want you to think like the world's gonna blow up or some shit, and like the entire status quo changes of the game. Like that's not gonna happen. But at least the story gets more focus. You'll get a hub, and you'll get more direction, at least as far as like what to expect. If you put in a few more hours after that and you don't like it, maybe it's time to shelve it.
Okay. So let's jump into the news. We're gonna go ahead and, like we were saying before, let's start off with Sonic Frontiers. Sonic Frontier. James, I'll have you start.
So I watched the whole 7 minutes, and the thing that kept like ringing in the back of my head is this reminds me of like a UE demo.
Yes.
It didn't feel like a full-fledged game. I don't know. That's really it's like it sounds mean, and it kind of is, but yeah, I think it runs to that problem you were just talking about, Roddy, of taking the lessons from Elden Ring, but the wrong ones. So from the beginning of the game, you get dropped into the huge open world, but it's literally just an open field. Is what the whole level amounts to, and there's a bunch of just randomly placed Sonic items, the rings, the spring pads, the rails. It's all there, but it doesn't feel like it makes any sense.
Yeah.
So like it's kind of just dressing for the sake of dressing. So I'm still not 100% sure what he was supposed to be doing. He just kind of ran from one end of the field to the other, broke a couple boxes.
Which I feel like in these type of games, like I said, these Breath of the Wild type open worlds, like that's what they want the player to do. They want the player to like be in this open world, literally do whatever you want, puzzle solve, fight enemies. You know what the biggest issue I had with this gameplay trailer? Sonic is slow as shit. Why is it that at some point, I'm gonna try and like fast forward the video, but why is it at some point Sonic's like running in the field and like they're trying to give you that sense of speed, and I guess they're trying to be dramatic, so like a seagull starts like running, like flying
it does the
overhead.
Ghost of Tsushima joint.
Yeah, and I'm like, why is this seagull keeping up with Sonic the Hedgehog? It makes no sense.
Yep. Taking the wrong mechanics. And I was hoping it was going to lead him to somewhere, but it doesn't. Or he never followed it, I guess, to the right spot. But it shows up like 3 different times while he's running across, and it doesn't amount to anything.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, so for a game like this, like I said, that sense of speed isn't really there for me. Here we go. This right here is stupid. Like, how's it keeping up with Sonic? It makes no sense. I don't know. I don't feel like I think they have to like amp up the speed. I feel like he's they have those moments where like he's using like the speed boost and you can somewhat feel it, but I don't know. I don't think like that sense of speed is there, and then I'm sort of like, I know this is just like it's like a gameplay, like is a teaser or like they're trying to just show off a little bit right now, but I don't know. I like the enemy placements sort of didn't like make sense. Like it sort of didn't really. It just screamed really generic.
Yes.
Yeah. The speed wasn't a problem for me, and in fact, I would actually say that the reason why they probably did that, and this is speculation. I don't know shit, but I feel like they did this because of all the platforming. Because this is what this game looks like right now, as a platformer to me. And they've made Sonic speed not blisteringly fast because they need opportunity and time for the player to be able to slow down, to be able to actually, hurdle over the obstacles or whatever, maneuver properly without like making the player feel like they're not in control. Like in similar instances, we brought up Sonic Adventure earlier in the show. Like there were a lot of sequences in those games where you just kind of push up on the thumbstick and Sonic just goes really fast and the camera pulls back and you don't really have control. You're just sort of watching him move really quickly. And there's nothing wrong with that inherently, but that's my speculation as to why the speed is the way it is. My problem with this game is, well, first of all, I actually like the music in this like that's the. Let me say, I actually kind of like the vibe. Like kind of like the vibe that it's going for. It's different, and I like the more like this sort of it's like future, but it's like ancient future almost, like a Horizon type thing, right? Like the future tech that they find is actually like, or what they think is the past is actually the future. It kind of gives like that mix of era that I really think is kind of cool, and I like the music in this. So those are the things that I like, and also I don't think it looks well. I don't think it looks great, like graphically, but it doesn't look awful. Like I thought like I think Sonic himself looks all right, you know. So those are the things that I actually really liked in this. Everything else, like the actual moment-to-moment gameplay, looks really problematic to me, and I think part of it is because Sonic doesn't look like he feels right to me. Like I don't have my hands on the controller, obviously, but it looks like his momentum, something's wrong with that, and like the physics, the way that he's moving, like that part where he's moving up the, what is that, it's like one of the ruins, and he's like magnetized to it or
That
something.
climbable wall.
Yeah. Like his speed is not only cut like abruptly short there, but it's like I don't really know when the momentum begins and ends, and it's very jarring to me.
I think at one point like he starts like climbing the wall and then like just goes off into a run. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, exactly. So I think Sonic has always felt the best in his. I mean, I won't lie, like other than the 2D games, but I think he's felt pretty good in his adventure games, barring like all the graphical glitches and shit like that would happen in those games. I think like he felt pretty decent in that particular space. And ever since then, they've made him like light. They've made him really light, and like the slightest flick would send him like flying in a direction that you may have not intended. Like, you know, a character that sort of deals with speed really well, because I was just playing earlier, was actually like Lucio from Overwatch. That's a character that deals with speed like I think pretty well. You know when Lucio is speeding up, you know when he's slowing down. His momentum actually carries him further. The physics feel like it actually is like inherent to that world, and inherent to only to him. I think Sonic should feel like that, and it doesn't seem like he feels that way. It's a little bit of maybe of a silly criticism to make because I'm not actually playing it, but that's just what it looked like from what I could see.
Yeah.
That's a fair assessment, though, because I could agree. It definitely seemed like something was not quite right. You know, I was trying to figure out what would be a good way to handle it too, because speed seems to be an issue with like Sonic games in general, and getting that feel right. But I think about games that handled that kind of thing really well. To me, Infamous First Light was really good with handling speed. The Saints Row.
Oh,
Was it the fourth one?
Yeah, Saints Row 4. Yeah.
Yeah. Because they gave you superpowers and you could run up the sides of buildings. It all felt so seamless.
Yeah.
So something like that I think would be cool.
Yeah, Jet Set Radio too, I think does really well with speed and momentum. Yeah, like really grounding you in physics. Specifically, that first game grounds you a lot in physics. Yeah, like I totally agree with you. Those are great examples, James, too. And I think maybe this is a really early look at this game. We don't know when it's coming out. Presumably, this year, right?
I think so. That'd give us a date.
I don't think they haven't given us a date. I wouldn't be too surprised if this is like early 2023.
Okay. Yeah. You know what else is actually really funny is in these type of games I'm always wondering like, why are there rails here? Why are there platforms? This is like kind of a more of a silly critique, but why are there like ramps, speed ramps that seemingly only Sonic can use?
Right.
Yeah, right.
Behold this customly made deserted island just for you, Sonic.
Yeah, that kind of cracks me up. But yeah, I think they've got an interesting idea here. I just don't know about the execution right now. It doesn't really seem like they've succeeded there. I've seen a lot of people say that they dig this, and that's cool. Like I'm happy for them for that. But I don't know. It doesn't look terrible to me. Like I'm not looking at this going like, oh, it's god awful. Sonic Team, you fucking are terrible. No, it's just like it's just something feels off to me.
It definitely is screaming like tech demo.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But you know,
It's a shame.
We'll be seeing more of it throughout this month from IGN. So I don't know, maybe getting a sense of like what Sonic's mission is in this game or what's going on might help out a little bit. I don't know. We'll I guess we'll see with what they want to preview from this game, but I don't know. I like the idea of like an open world Sonic game. Like I was excited, but I don't know. After seeing this, I've sort of like tempered my expectations, so I'm not gonna completely write it off. Maybe like the moment to moment, maybe some of the like the side quests in this might be fun.
Yeah,
And
that's
maybe-
what I was about to say. We have to see more of that. We didn't even see a map or anything.
Exactly.
Right.
So yeah, that's I guess at that point that's what I would want to see is just like what
else
there?
is
Yeah,
there?
what else is there? Because they typically just kept us in like that coastal area. We didn't really see too much.
Can I ask you guys something? So, and I'm asking this completely seriously. I'm not being facetious here, but like, what are your expectations for a good Sonic game in 2022?
Sonic,
That's actually a really good question.
Sonic Adventure 3.
Okay, understood.
What would that look like though?
That's more what I'm getting at, James. Yeah.
Okay, so to me, I think that's I would want them to stick to like to the level to level. I would want them to, I mean, even go back to having a dark mode, light mode, and like the mix. Like I wouldn't be mad if they did that. If they completely rinsed and reused that, I'd be happy with that. But for me,
What do you mean by that? Like, is it like a hero selection? Like,
yeah, so
Tales
sort
of- oh, okay.
so sort of like that. But like the biggest part though is gonna have to be like how the characters sort of move, just the actual gameplay. Is it buggy, is it smooth? Like I think that what they have to do now is just figure out an engine that works for the game and just stick with it. I feel like every other Sonic game is they're trying something different. I feel like they're taking ideas, throwing it at a wall, and seeing what sticks.
So is there a franchise now, or a type of like movement system that you think or engine would work really well for Sonic that you can think of, or would it have to be
You know
a
what they need to
custom
do?
thing?
We need Sonic Generations 2. How about that? That's my answer. That's my final answer. Sonic Generations 2. That's the Sonic game I want to see. Exactly what they did. We have the best of both worlds. We have the 2D. We have the 3D Sonic where I think like that Sonic Colors like engine that they were using, that worked.
Yeah. Sonic Colors was pretty dope.
okay. I did not have an answer to this, by the way. I truly do not know what it takes at this point. Like, I don't know what Sonic Team needs to do to make like a really good one of these. But I mean, I did enjoy Sonic Generations. Was that a Sonic Team thing too? I
Pretty
actually
sure.
don't know. Okay. Yeah, so I guess that's like probably the last thing that I played from them that was like, oh, okay, cool. Okay.
Yeah, man, I have no idea. But that's the weird thing, right? Because like everybody loves Sonic, but how do you really make a good game for him?
I'm saying we honestly have that answer in the Sonic Generations. Why haven't they made another one? That's the real question.
That's a good question. I don't know. Did it sell?
I
well?
really wish I thought it did. I don't have any figures in front of me, but I thought that it did well for them. And Sonic Mania did really well for them, and they didn't even
But
make
that wasn't even them.
Yeah, exactly. They had a hand in canceling that, unfortunately. So that's the rumor anyway. But yeah.
Yeah, so like we said, Sonic Frontier gameplay is on IGN. Check them out throughout the month to see more gameplay from them. But we also got another trailer to drop today. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet trailer 2 came out, and let's see. Let's Rod, you saw the trailer.
You come on.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Come on.
Come
What
on,
you
come on.
What you think?
It's Pokemon, man. It's more Pokemon. But there is one thing that I will say that actually, because this was the one where I was like, okay, fool me once, all right, fool me twice, you motherfuckers. Like, you fooled me twice. Like, I didn't finish the last remake, and then I did not finish Arceus. And I know you guys really liked that. And it wasn't my thing. Although I respected it. I respect it. It wasn't my thing. This new one, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna go back for a third try with this, even though I want to like Pokemon. Like, I want to not. No, let me. I don't want to not. I don't want to like it. I don't want to say that I'm liking it because that implies that I dislike it. I do not dislike Pokemon. James, I know you were joking earlier about me hating it. I promise I don't. But but I just wish that I could enjoy or see what you guys see in it. That's where I'm kind of at. And so with Violet and Scarlet coming out, I was like, all right, I don't know if I'm actually going to buy this one because I don't want to get fooled for a third time. But then they show 4-player co-op. And I'm like, God damn. Are they really going to get me to buy a third Pokemon game only for me to play it for like 10 hours before throwing in the towel? I mean, maybe.
There are four of us.
There are 4 of us. It's quite possible.
It is quite possible.
That is like the thing, I think, for me. Like, after watching this trailer, I think that's the thing that would get me to buy it. I need to know more about it. They were very vague so far. They were just like, hey, get your buddies, you could trade battle, and then explore, quote unquote explore. I don't know what that means yet. So let me figure out what the parameters are. Or is it like we could do the whole campaign together? That would be really generous. I'm not expecting that. But if it's something significant, then,
I mean, I feel like that's what they meant by it. Only due to the fact that you can go pretty much any way you want to in this game. There is no determined story route. So
okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
So in theory, we could all like run off, hit our own gyms, and then come back and see how we do, like after a gym.
See, but that goes into speculation. So when I hear that, I'm thinking, damn, does that mean when we, like, depending on like the order that we tackle certain gyms, does that mean like that gym leader has, since we have like a certain amount of badges, does that mean they're going to use this particular team against us? Because if that's the case, that's dope. But I feel like that's giving them way too much. I'm expecting too much out of that. So I'm thinking they mean that you could sort of like in Pokemon Arceus, they gave you that hub area, that open world, and they sort of just let you just do whatever. So maybe that's what they mean. Because honestly, I know a lot of people that when they started the game, because it was so quote unquote open and they got to do what they wanted to do, they legit spent like their first like 15-20 hours of the game in like that first initial area just catching Pokemon.
That was me.
So to me, that's what I hear when they say that you could go and do what you want, because a lot of people love that about Arceus. So, but know what my biggest thing is, and I'm surprised you didn't say it. Stream, or if you're watching this live, y'all look at this. Hold on, let's pause this. Look at this character right here. You see that?
Oh, I already know which one you're looking at.
You see the hair?
Yeah, it is pretty
Freak.
good.
Game Freak,
Yeah.
Thank you. We can finally actually make black characters. Thank you.
No, I'm not doing it yet. I need to see more options first.
Oh yeah.
Because if it's this and like 3 others, it's not enough.
I mean, we're gonna get
It's this in an afro.
yeah,
There it is.
That and afro, that and locks.
This and after one of these.
Yep.
And we're in there. Oh, so sad.
Yeah, me going into it, like I sort of like they cut this trailer like in a certain way where they were showing stuff, but they really weren't showing stuff. If that makes sense. Like, so like for me, I want to know, is this the same gameplay engine that they're using in Pokemon Legends? Like,
This feels like it.
It feels like it, but I would not be surprised if they fucking hoodwink us and it ends up being like Sword and Shield.
I thought people were going around
bro.
saying that people weren't like able to move in battle like in Arceus or that type of thing.
Oh, you know what? You're right. I didn't see I don't think we saw. No,
We didn't see.
I
Any
don't
yet.
know if-
The way they cut
yeah.
the trailer, like everything was very static.
but you
Yeah,
did see them do the crouch walking up on a Pokemon, like you would in Arceus. She sneaks up on that seed looking thing.
Oh yeah, I think.
Yeah, for a 3-minute trailer, this was surprisingly like more of a tease than anything. This wasn't a deep dive at all by any means.
This and the Sonic trailer could have like swapped times, and I would be so happy.
Yeah, yeah.
True. Yeah. So it's I don't know. We'll see. I mean, we got a date. I think November 18th, 2022. So it's coming out this year, which is wild. This is like the most that we've seen Pokemon games be released.
That's the third game in 1 year.
Third
The remake, the remake was in November.
of last year. Yeah, you're right.
Yep.
Yep.
And then Arceus like a few months later. Yeah.
Damn, and that's so. I wonder at this point, are they? I guess they're sort of catering to their fans because like I'm like, yo, just in my veins. I'm ready for my next hit. Let's get it. So I don't know.
Here we are.
Here we are. I want to see more though. I want to hold my judgment.
James, did you talk about this yet? Did you say what you thought?
I mean, it felt like Arceus to me. I'm happy for it. I'm ready to see what else there is to go with it. Shoot, they're stepping it up with the version differences. 2 different professors now. That's new. What else? But yeah, I mean, nothing really. It just kind of feels like Pokemon. Got to see more. Got to see what the real hook is and how they're gonna do this whole story where you kind of just go where you want to. I'm just hoping it's not.
You know, it would be dope if we get a Pokemon game where like it truly is open. But let's say if you're not into battling like that. Let's say if you want to go along the route of like just breeding Pokemon, you could sort of do that. Or if you want to do like the Pokemon competitions, you could sort of like there's like a gameplay loop for those people. But I think that's is it I don't even think it's fair to say like that's too ambitious because it's 2022. Pokemon the Game Freak Pokemon company has made so much money in the past like 5-10 years off of Pokemon. It doesn't make sense that we're not getting like these like I don't want to say they're not AAA games because they are AAA games, but we could get more out of this.
You want to know why we're not getting this?
Competition
Because the last time that Pokemon really tried to like push itself, people didn't like it. That's Pokemon Black and White. Like going back and thinking about it, that game had the biggest change from game to game in the series, and I think it sold one of the worst, if not the worst seller, at least at launch.
Yeah.
Because it was too much going on.
Or hear me out. You know, I think Pokemon just celebrated the 25th anniversary, right? Let's get like a more mature Pokemon game. I'm tired of playing a game as a fucking 10-year-old.
Hey, have you seen those professors? They're getting pretty mature.
Right.
Yeah.
But you want someone that like follows like the manga style of Pokemon?
Oh God.
Like it's going down. Like I'm after you.
Yeah, it seemed like they were almost going in that direction with Arceus, with the trainer actually fucking dying, or like getting knocked out. Like the Pokemon would actually try to kill you.
Oh yeah. You're right. That's a good point. Maybe we'll get there, Chris.
Yeah. So, it's still early. We'll probably see another trailer, or maybe like an actual direct, maybe towards the end of the summer. Like I think that's what they do. They sort of like drip feed us these things, and we won't hear anything for a couple of months. So, let's see what they do next time they decide to show something off in the game.
You know what? Before we do, let's think about the one thing they did show us. What do you guys think about those legendaries?
Over-designed.
I did not like them.
Over-designed.
I did not like them.
Like,
But
I thought it was like a Digimon at first. That Violet one, he has literal like jets. It just I don't know. It was crazy.
I don't think there's much distinction between the two.
Hold on, let me put it back on the screen because it's I don't know. I feel like they just at this point they have like an AI for Pokemon, and they just sort of like put in things like, hey, this is what we want, and it just like it. I don't know. Like just look at like the Pokemon on the left, the one for was it
Scarlet?
Scarlet? Yeah, like so I'm guessing these are both dragon types.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, it looks like maybe one of their kids designed a Pokemon and they're like, oh, let me actually turn this into something.
The one on the right reminds me of Lunala.
I can see that.
Like the same color scheme. Weird. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's all.
So that's Pokemon. Next up, let's talk about how Sony is producing a Horizon, Gran Turismo, and God of War adaptation.
If we must.
Yeah, I think the most that we know about this is actually the Gran Turismo one. Funny enough, that's actually gonna be a movie, not a TV show. So I believe Horizon and God of War will be television series. God of War at Amazon, I think, and then Horizon at Netflix. So I would say that, well, first of all, with Gran Turismo, we know that Neil Blomkamp is directing that film. Neil Blomkamp has done District 9 like 10, 15 years ago, however long that was, and such hits as Chappie and Elysium.
Was Chappie the boxing robot?
No, well,
I think so.
It was a robot. Did he box?
I can't remember. Is that the one with Hugh Jackman?
No, that's Real Steel.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the one that I saw with old should I watch that alum Shannon back in the day. Remember that?
Whoa.
Yeah, it's a throwback, right?
Yeah, you to be back on that one. Wow.
Yeah.
Chappie.
So Chappie, look, this isn't should I watch that? I don't know if I'm going to go into the the critical analytics for Chappie here, but needless to say, Neil Blomkamp is an ambitious human being, and him doing a Gran Turismo movie is very interesting because it just doesn't seem like it fits his wheelhouse. And what do you do with a Gran Turismo movie? The only thing I can think of is you just go full camp with it and do a Fast and the Furious or something. But if you do that, it's really weird to do that with Gran Turismo. Gran Turismo is like this classy series with like elevator music, like
right.
in the menus.
Super grounded racing.
Exactly, literally motorsport. So I don't know what you do with something like this. I don't know. I think a Horizon and God of War are more easy to visualize for obvious reasons. Those have actual narrative through lines. But yeah.
So for God of War, do you know if we're getting God of War like this this new trilogy, or are we getting like OG, like Ghost of Sparta, God of War?
I don't think that they've said yet. But I would want. I mean, being selfish, I would want this new trilogy, or I guess it's not a trilogy anymore, right? There's only going to be 2 of them.
Yeah.
But that's because I think the story is strongest there. I'm sure that there's a lot of people who will want that old Ghost of Sparta. I just think that's less interesting to me.
A lot of yelling.
Yes, a lot of yelling, a lot of killing, a lot.
What if they found a way to mesh the two? Tone down yelling Kratos to more thoughtful Kratos, but put him in Ghost of Sparta setting.
Or
he can still be pissed off.
Or give us Ghost of Sparta in like flashbacks while they're doing the current games.
Yeah,
that's just I don't know, man. The thing about doing a movie about a series that you're currently making, that just seems kind of weird to me. Like, why would I watch the God of War show and I can just play the God of War game and get the same story?
Because I think there's going to be a large contingent of people who are never going to play that game, but they would watch the show. Like my dad, for instance, would totally watch. Like he would definitely be into a God of War show. He's never going to pick up a controller or watch me play. Like That's just never gonna happen. So that's why I think it's a good question, James. That's a great question, but I think that would be the answer.
Okay.
Yeah. I just hope that they I guess they do it right. Like at this point, just pull in the writers from the games. Just get the right people to do this. I don't want we don't want another Halo situation. We don't want a Halo situation where like the creators are like, oh yeah, I've never played the video games, but we did what we could.
I don't understand how you can be in development for this many years and you can find a single fan to direct the movie. Or at least educate the director on the game. Like, what?
I think we're starting to see like adaptations that seem to care, like the Sonic movies. You know, I know those aren't like high art, but like they're good for what they are.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
those Sonic movies are actually pretty good. Let's give those movies some respect. Like,
Well, okay. Well, I said they're not high art, which come on, if that's the argument, then
Are you trying to tell me you weren't blown away by the drifting golf cart into the explosion? It was impressive.
I don't even remember that. Was that in 2?
Yes. The wedding subplot.
I do remember that. Yes, I remember
Yeah.
that. Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. Okay. Sure. There are things. Okay, so I'm not gonna sit here and go like, yeah, Sonic 2 is a great movie, guys. Like, it's not that kind of movie, but it's a good adaptation of a video game property. It does everything that it should do. It doesn't like. It's not a slave to the lore of the games. But it's like it's palatable to a 90-minute, 100-minute format, however long those movies are. Like, I think that those movies are a great example of a video game adaptation done right. Probably the best one. Not saying much, but like, that's what we got right now. And I do think that The Last of Us has a shot of being pretty good because it is an HBO production. Generally, they invest in like really interesting stories. Even if they're not good, they're ambitious usually. Not to mention that what's his name? Neil Druckmann?
Mm-hmm.
The Naughty Dog, like, they're involved. They're not like, I don't think deep in the creation of it. Like, that show has a showrunner that's not like anybody from that studio or anything like that. Like, the showrunner is someone from TV, but they have still let Naughty Dog into that process and been like, hey, here's what's important from the games, here's what you should be paying attention to. So I think that has a shot of being good as well. And apparently Uncharted was all right. I didn't see it, but people said that was okay.
Yeah. So I don't know. I feel with you about like the Gran Turismo too. I don't see where they're gonna go with that. What about Horizon? Horizon, I guess, sort of would make sense, seeing how like the game has like this, I don't know, like that was my complaint, was that it was like too cinematic. Not cinematic, but like there was a lot of cutscenes and a lot of like storytelling. So I guess that would work well for the show, right?
The thing that I'm worried about with Horizon is, especially on a TV basis, we got to deal with the CGI because those dinosaurs have to be killer, or it's just not gonna make the show the same way. Like, 'cause even for the game, like, the human enemies are cool, but you're really there for the mecha dinosaurs and animals and stuff.
So James, you're hitting on a point that is a great point I was about to make, which was like the budget for Horizon has to be extremely high. And that's funny that Netflix just picked it up, because if you've been you're paying attention to Netflix in the last month, they've been having a lot of issues, and they have actually started like not committing to be like, as of this recording today, they just announced that they're no longer doing like big budget, projects, like as far as movies go. And Stranger Things 4, or the season 4, just came out, and that was, I think, $250 million for the whole season.
Jesus.
That is like the most expensive television production of all time. I don't know if a Horizon gets that kind of budget. I don't know if the Netflix of today is going to do that. So yeah, I mean, to James's point, like, what do you do? Like, what do you do? How good is the show going to look? How much are you going to focus on the machines, or is that going to be kind of an element in the background? Can it be an element just in the background? I don't know.
It's gonna be they're gonna make Horizon slash Love is Blind, I guess. I don't know. They're gonna start mixing up their reality
What?
TV shows into it.
Yeah, what if it? Maybe it's just the story of Zero Dawn instead
I
of the
didn't, I
Aloy
didn't think
part of
about.
the story.
I didn't think about that. Huh? Maybe.
Because you
That,
could get away
yeah.
with more like killer robots than you could like variety of animals. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That'd be much more of a human story. You're relying less on effects.
That's actually a
Yeah.
good point. I could see them doing that definitely if especially if they're trying to like pull back from these high production costs. Um, damn, yeah, that's a good point.
If they decide to do that, I wonder what that does to Aloy's story when you meet her, because a lot of the intrigue of that first game is her discovering like what has gone on with the world, and to the player that's the exciting part. So I wonder like if they go that route, which I don't think is a really a bad idea, how do you structure the mystery around Aloy and make that compelling for the viewer still? Because if she's figuring it out for like 10 hours or however long the series would be, like the viewer already knows what's happening. They already understand like what's going on in a way. It's almost like getting the prequel first.
Right. So maybe structured in more of a flashback sequence type of show.
Yeah.
Like each episode could be Aloy stumbling upon some ruin.
Yeah. And you focus more on like the human aspect of that, perhaps. Like for episodes. Yeah, I could see something like that. Yeah, it's not a bad idea at all. Yeah, I'm curious. This out of all the three of these, I'm actually the most curious, like logistically, how they would handle Horizon. I think the other, well, Gran Turismo is kind of just a big question mark in general, but like, I could just see, I guess I could just see cars of that. Like, it's not hard for me to visualize that, and God of War seems straightforward. But yeah, Horizon is like a big gamble, especially for Netflix right now.
I think it'd be cool.
Yeah, so I guess we'll see more. Like, any word on like when production is gonna start on any of these?
No, I think God of War and Horizon are like really early.
Okay.
I don't even think they have showrunners attached or anything like that yet.
Yeah, so I guess we'll sort of just see as like that story develops where it goes, and of course,
Yeah.
come check out the channel, come check out the shows. We'll talk about it. Next up, let's talk about Respawn's their Star Wars Jedi Survivor coming out in 2023. I'm excited. I liked the first one.
I need to play that actually. I keep meaning to.
Oh, you haven't played it?
I have not. It's on Game Pass. I should.
Definitely check it out.
Yeah, I think I don't know if I read or I was like listening to someone talk about it, but this the second game is supposed to have like a darker tone to it.
I mean, I guess it makes sense with a Survivor tagline.
But yeah, I mean, big fan of the first game, which is like a shocker because this essentially was like Star Wars Dark Souls, and actually made it through the whole game and enjoyed it. So yeah, sign me up. I'm ready for it.
I guess closer to Sekiro than Dark Souls, but yeah. I'm here for it too. Anytime you can throw a lightsaber in my hand, I'm here for it. So
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna go back and play this first one. I've meant to do that for like the last year or so now. So I think this announcement is gonna kickstart my desire, and my plate's kind of empty right now. So yeah.
Yeah. So we'll I guess once again talk more about that when more news comes out for it. Microsoft confirms that it's taking a new approach with this game streaming device. This is actually news to me. What is this about?
So, there's been talks that with their whole Play Anywhere incentive, there's got to be a type of streaming device that will let you like skip over the Xbox entirely. I think it was last year they confirmed they're working on their own like game streaming sticks, but apparently it seems to be a bit more forward in production at this point.
Is this that like square box that got leaked somewhere? Was that what this is?
Square box?
Yeah, like I was scrolling on Twitter and some retailer, which I don't even think it was like, I don't know if it was real or anything, but like it looked like a Series X, but just like shrunk down. It was just like a square box.
Maybe I haven't seen that one.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, Xbox they continue to try to get they're trying to make gaming accessible, which I really appreciate. They did that with Game Pass. They did that with their streaming service. If you haven't used their streaming service, it's actually pretty good. I've been able to sort of like use it at work because where I work in Atlanta, we get the 5G ultra wideband, and like it feels pretty good. It's pretty responsive now. So, and you know, just the ability to see a game get added and jump straight into it, no installs, no updates. I feel like we're inching closer to that, you know, Netflix like service. So if it means for some people, it's so wait, so I guess since it's like a streaming stick, it's essentially like, yeah, like a Chromecast, I guess.
Yeah, a Chromecast Roku kind of deal.
Yeah, this is interesting. And the article that we pulled this from actually it doesn't indicate, and I'm sure Microsoft hasn't come out and said like this is why we're doing this, but I do wonder if it has anything to do with the restrictive nature of some of these TVs and their smart apps. Um, you know, Google goes through this quite often with Amazon. You know, with one not putting the other's apps on their devices. Like I think with Google Chrome, you have an issue with Amazon Prime, I want to say, putting on like their video service because they have like a big dispute going on quite frequently. So I wonder if that like Microsoft is just thinking eventually like they could be cut out of the market because at first they were betting on smart TVs and putting the app on the actual set itself. So I wonder if this is just them cutting out the middleman, thinking ahead, trying to future-proof their service,
Yeah, good
which
for
is
them.
all. I mean, yeah, this is always the route that I thought they should have taken in the first place. I don't know why they just wanted to go straight to the TV. I imagine because they wanted to make it as accessible as possible to have someone not have to buy another peripheral for their thing. But I mean, if you're going to offer somebody like a $20-$30 stick to subscribe to your, you know, service that lets you play a ton of games, like I think that's a pretty decent ask. You know,
So-
they're bypassing the $200 box.
But here's my question: who are they making this for?
They're making it, I think, for the non-traditional gamer person, the person who's not going to go out and buy a $200-$300 box. You know, I think that's an easier something that you can just like plug up, you know, easily. If you bundle a controller with it or anything like that, I think that makes it easy as well. I mean, $30, you plug it into the TV, and that's kind of it. And it's a plug and play set, and you're just off to the races. That's a really easy sell. Rather than telling somebody to save up $300. That's the Series S, right? $300.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, 300 for the box, and then you know, got to plug up HDMI or 4K or whatever, and like, it's just a whole thing. I think it's just ease of use, accessibility.
You know, you say that, but I think the thing that I'm curious about now, especially for just that casual gamer like you were saying, is streaming steady enough of a thing for the casual gamer to be like, yeah, this is worth my time? Or is it like I paid $30 for this, 20-30 bucks for this stick, but like my game's hella laggy?
Yeah, yeah, it's a good comment. And what I would say to that is that internet is still like still a lot of people who don't have like the best speed of internet. But I would wager to say that, you know, as long as, I mean, if it works like Stadia, if it works like Stadia should work, then then I think it might be all right. Like, I mean, as long as you're adjusting to, you know, if you're only getting 10-15 megabytes down, maybe that allows you to stream at 720p. If you're watching Netflix on your set, if you have a smart TV in general, chances are you probably have a decent enough connection to at least run these games at 1080p, probably, mostly consistent. Maybe there's some peripheral. I doubt that this is going to be possible, but maybe there's some peripheral to let you like download to the stick. Again, I doubt it because the stick would probably not have that much storage on it to let you, you know, download X amount of gigs. But I don't know. That's what I would say. I mean, your point is valid. I think that's absolutely a concern that they should be thinking about. But ultimately, I don't know if that's going to really dissuade anyone from getting it, because they probably have the setup already.
Now I'm trying to figure out if that download to the stick thing be possible, because I think that would set it apart. If there was a way that I could just like have the files right there.
Yeah, I feel like it would have to be a significant hard drive because these games are, I mean, we're talking about Series S, Series X titles. Generally, there's like tens, what, 20, 30, depending on the game, of course, 20, 30 gigs. We were talking about Jedi Fallen Order. That game was like 80 gigs. That's probably not going to fit on a stick like that. That's my guess. So yeah, I don't know how that would work. I would love for it to work that way. I just don't know if it would.
Maybe not now.
Yeah, maybe not now. I would say that you would have to put on put on the box. Like the disclaimer would be, if you have this speed, you're going to get this output at like 720 or 1080p or whatever. Have a speed of above 100 megabytes if you want 4K consistently.
I think it's consistent anytime like these streaming services come out that they do have that disclaimer. Like I know that
Okay.
I've seen it with Stadia, I've seen it with PlayStation Now. Yeah, I mean that's like a go-to because that's what people are gonna ask. People are gonna ask like what resolution they'll be able to get, but then also how much data streaming these things will like cost.
Yeah.
A lot of people are still data capped,
Yep.
so this may not be a thing for everybody. So
Yeah.
it's I guess we'll sort of see when they officially announce it. Like we said, this is something that is sort of in development right now.
Yeah.
All right, so let's wrap it up for the episode with this last story. Summer Game Fest. We got the partner list out, and Summer Game Fest has always been pretty good. I think that this is essentially what's replacing E3.
Yeah, that's actually part of why it's here in our news list because this is the beginning of June. Can you believe it? And E3 is no more. E3 got canceled for this year. They say for this year. I say possibly forever. When we were not recording these episodes, so I actually thought it would be prudent to sort of talk about these topics and maybe discuss: is this necessary? Or what our thoughts are about Summer Game Fest. Maybe like, is E3? We've had this discussion before. We've talked about whether or not we think E3 is relevant, but I guess now is an appropriate time to resurface that conversation. Now that some of this news is out.
E3's dead, y'all.
Yeah, it's fine. It's literally the same thing with a different name. It's what it feels like.
Absolutely. Starting with this partner list. So I'm not going to read off the whole list, obviously, but like some of the big hitters, we got 2K on here, Capcom, the Warner Brothers is here, EA, Epic, they're all there, Devolver Digital, and then some of the biggest hitters like PlayStation, Xbox, Steam, they're on there. I saw Sega on there as well. So this is a really significant list. Like this isn't just we just got a few people. Like these are E3 style like marquee names. That they've got. Also something else that I thought was interesting was the AMC theater chain, if you're in the US, is showing the opening fest on the day of. So I think that's actually like next week. I think it's next Thursday as of this recording, so June 9th. And they used to do that for E3, the opening show, I believe, or at least like some of these things did. I think PlayStation did it, I think, and Microsoft. So the fact that the AMC theaters are showing the festival is kind of a big deal. And also that there is a media-only event called Play Days. And so Greg Miller from Kind of Funny actually tweeted this out and said that he and a few of his co-hosts were headed down to Los Angeles to go to this event. Reason why I thought this was significant enough to bring up is because this honestly is getting back to what E3 actually was. E3 was never about like this fan thing, this fan event where you just go stand in the line and play a bunch of games. It was really it was a trade show. It was a place where only media could go and get impressions. That actually tapered off and had less and less to do with the show as it wore on, and it became actually really frustrating for media to provide written previews and get behind closed doors, demos of a lot of these games and schedule appointments and things like that. Anybody in the media industry, if you listen to them talk about E3, they expressed how like frustrating it was as a media person and how pointless it kind of felt like as a fan, because you'd be standing for like 8 hours in a line to play 1 or 2 games, and that was kind of it. So you might have better luck at like PAX or Comic-Con or something like that. Something that is actually consumer focused. So anyway, I just wanted to, well, before I go on, I mean, any comments or thoughts about any of that so far before we get to the larger point here?
So going back on the point that them showing it at AMC, I wonder if that means we're gonna get like a mega drop, like a big announcement that opening night.
I think it's possible.
Is there a schedule who's going to be on opening day? Or is it just a list of who's going to be there in general?
I don't know if they have an opening day list. We just have a general partner list so far. I would expect to see Microsoft has a show next day. You know what they might have? I think Microsoft would probably be there, but it might be a, hey, come tune into the Microsoft show in a few days type of thing, which they've done before. Yeah. I don't think Nintendo will really have much to show, and because they haven't, I don't even think
they're not even on the list.
Right. And PlayStation will have their state of play, so who knows what they may show. It's possible, but
I'm just ready for the Devolver Digital Showcase. That's always fun.
Yeah, we need that for sure. So, yeah, I mean, with all of this news here, and with not really being a thing anymore, I mean, this is basically E3, this Summer Game Fest, and it seems to be consolidated not across like 3 months as it was previously, but just one. And I think that's helpful. It's not going to be this long drawn out thing, and we're going to get a blast of gaming news in one segmented like kind of time frame, designated this time. Yeah, I think the time for trade shows I think is over, man. I think that for how we used to know them when we were kids growing up, I just, that time has passed. The companies don't need the attention of the ESA or any of these parent organizations anymore. They just don't. They can do a direct or send out a tweet saying, tune in at this time and get your attention direct to you. So Nintendo was way ahead of the curve when it came to that.
I mean, let's be real. A lot of I feel like a lot of these shows, especially like E3 or the Summer Game Fest, is honestly set to get consumers excited for what's coming up in the fall. Of course, we see games that get announced and we don't see for a couple of years. But like the biggest draw, the biggest like reason that they're doing this is just to get you excited. They just want you to pretty much they want to get their pre-orders set. They want their I don't know, they just want that overall buzz to like get them going into the holidays, get them going into the fall, which goes into the holidays. So I mean, I'm for it. I want to see what we're going to be playing this holiday season.
Yeah, same. I mean, I'm always gonna love gaming news, like a big blast of it. Like I'm always gonna be down for that. So yeah, let's see what we got in store. I think it's gonna be interesting for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, that is episode 124. Live streamed on YouTube, where afterwards the episode doesn't disappear after 30 days.
It'll live forever.
Ever?
Hey. Yep, they'll get to see how I fucked up the intro this episode.
It wouldn't be a show without it.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
But what we got going on? What any shout outs?
as always, shout out to you for listening,
Mm-hmm.
for being here, hanging out with us live. If you found us on YouTube, good on you. Because I don't think did we tweet this out even?
No.
Nah. See, if you found us live, you was a real one. Shout out to you.
Yes, and if you did catch us here and you like what you heard, go ahead, follow us on all of our socials. That's going to be Should I Play That. Definitely hit us up on the audio homepage over at Apple Podcasts. Should I Play That? ? And leave us a like, a rating, all that good stuff. It really helps with our visibility.
5 stars.
We really appreciate it.
Five stars on Apple and 5 stars on Spotify, because I heard Spotify started doing the ratings too. So
Yes, I think
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah, hit us up. Thank you.
yep, hit us up. Hit us up on that. Hit me up on social media. SSJ Blackrod. Hit me up on the virtual kickback. And I'm gonna plan to stream some more, so be on the lookout for that too. So with that, we are signing out for another episode. You may see us next week. Let's see what happens. Who knows? Who knows?
3-0.
But we'll see you next time, everybody. Stay beastly. Peace.